Hey everyone, it's Peek. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Pokemon Unite patch notes video. We finally have the exact numbers and it's a doozy. These changes are actually massive. So let's go over these. I want to talk, of course, obviously about the two biggest changes, which are the Body Barrier and Score Shield nerfs. And this is really big and will absolutely change up the way the game is played, which is pretty crazy given the fact that there's some big tournaments, you know, the official AOS Cup coming up very shortly. And, you know, this just really changes everything about the game. So excited to go over this with you guys and talk about it. And, you know, in the future, I will put out a video on what I now think the best held items are for every character. I think that's definitely going to change, especially with the nerfs to Buddy Barrier. And so we'll talk about that in another video, but I will be playing a bunch of this season at the start to just figure out what's good, so I can kind of give you guys an overview of what is basically good and where the game's at right now. So I'll definitely be streaming that later today, later this afternoon once I get back from the dentist. So go follow the Twitch if you want to see that gameplay of the new season testing. So hopping right into it here, we got held items. Sheesh. Buddy Barrier, big nerfs, obviously. This is the biggest change the game's ever had, honestly. So one of the biggest things, in my opinion, actually, is that they nerfed the passive HP that you get. You know, it used to be that a level 30 Buddy Barrier would give you 600 HP, which is a lot at level 1 in the early levels. And I mean, even into the late game, 600 HP is a lot. It can be, you know, over 10% of the max HP of some of the Pokemon in this game, even at level 15. So pretty crazy. That's now at level 30, nerfed down to 450. They took basically just, you know, 150 off at level 30. And, you know, that definitely makes it more balanced. Like, this was way too strong of an item with the 600 passive HP. Zoom in on this a little bit for you guys so you can see a little better here. And yeah, so that's that. But then, you know, the shield is also nerfed. Never mind the fact that they never stack anymore. But before we start talking about that, the percentage of max HP that you get goes from 40 to 25 at level 20. So it's just, I mean, 40% of your max HP was so much. It basically made it so if you Unite moved, you would be able to tank, you know, even somebody else's Unite move before you actually are able to be killed. So that is a pretty good change. I think 25% is fair with this game. I think that's actually in a pretty good spot, TBH. So happy to see that. And yeah, the biggest part of this though is that they no longer stack. So the cooldown of Buddy Barrier basically goes with everybody else's Buddy Barrier. So you can only receive one Buddy Barrier. You can't just have 4 of your teammates all use their ultimates on top of you. You end up with, you know, 200% of your max HP and are basically unkillable for, you know, a brief period of time. That's no longer possible. And with that, Buddy Barrier definitely becomes more of a Buddy Barrier. Like, it's really in the name. Like, I think Buddy Barrier will be used more on supports to be like, hey, I'm going to save your life with this, which in my opinion was always how this, you know, item should have been used, but it just ended up, especially in, you know, more organized play, that people would be spamming Buddy Barriers, and whoever had the most ults and the most Buddy Barriers would just win, because obviously you have the HP advantage when everyone's playing on equal playing field and playing optimally. Ideally, the team that has the most HP left should win, right? So that is, you know, that was one of the biggest issues with this. So I'm really happy to see that change. I think this is really good, and it definitely makes it more of a buddy item than like a must-take barrier. It's pretty much what it used to be. So cool stuff there. Score Shield goes from a 6-second cooldown to a 20-second cooldown. Pretty long time. So, you know, you're not going to be able to get like protected little dunks one after the other. However, like, you know, it's not a bad nerf per se. Like, if you really want to be able to score, you still have Score Shield, right? However, I tested this myself before these patches even came out, and I can confirm that this shield is hit before any other shield. So Safeguard from Blissey, Wigglytuff, Unite Move, Hoopa Trick, all these shields that you can get from allies, they come after Score Shield. So as soon as they do 10% of your health in terms of damage, it's going to break the Score Shield, because Score Shield at level 20 gives 10% of your max HP and shield. And yeah, So I guess the shield amount now increases with the level. So interesting. That'll be pretty cool. But regardless, it's now super, super easy to break score shields. I mean, there should never really be an instance anymore of someone scoring 50 points in front of you, even if they have Goal Getter, for you to not be able to break their shield. It's only 10% of their HP versus, you know, used to be able to Unite move with Dragonite and have 50% of your HP and health bar in shields that had to be broken before you got your score off. So now this is just, I mean, it's just so much better. Really happy to see that. I think it's a fair nerf for Score Shield. And I think, honestly, Score Shield really, really drops down with this nerf. I think Buddy Barrier is still good. Obviously, like I said, it should be used more as a support item now than just everybody brings it. But Score Shield, man, that is going to be rough. I don't think this item is going to be that great anymore. It's not even the cooldown. It's really just the fact that, like, it's max 10% of your HP, right? So it is what it is there. Moving on to the actual Pokemon stuff. This is the two biggest changes, honestly. But Greedent, Covet, CC is no longer just okay. So you're no longer full unstoppable, but like any sort of CC is converted to a slow. So you'll move a little bit slower if like you're hit with CC, like a stun or a slow. So you're no longer actually unstoppable, but you also can't be stunned out of Covet still, you know? So you're like a pseudo form of unstoppable. It's interesting that they introduced this because this is the first Pokemon to ever have like a modified version of the unstoppable status, because normal unstoppable is just like you cannot be crowd controlled at all. So interesting stuff there. Definitely adds a little bit of complexity to Greedent. And I think it's, you know, it's a pretty good change. I'll just have to kind of see how it plays out. Greedent is still Greedent, obviously, but with the changes to Score Shield and Buddy Barrier and everything, like I think it really makes Greedent not as viable as it used to be in terms of like score compositions focused on scoring and stuff like that. So rest in peace, Greedent players. It's definitely not going to be as good as it used to be, unfortunately, with the change of Score Shield, especially. So moving on to Blissey, as we talked about yesterday, we got the group stacks of Soft Gold and Egg Bomb. They share stacks and they can go up to 4 stacks, or 4 charges rather, of these moves. So you can actually use 4 Egg Bombs in a row or 4 Soft Boileds in a row, or, you know, some form of mix and match of them. So really cool stuff. Egg Bomb Plus now unlocks at 12, was previously 10. And Safeguard Plus now unlocks at 10, was previously 12. So interesting stuff there. They actually bumped up the upgrade for plus moves for Blissey. I guess that's just to compensate for the fact that they made these a little bit stronger. I don't necessarily agree with that change. I think it's kind of lame, but oh well, it is what it is. I mean, getting level... Oh, wait. Oh, no, sorry, guys, misinterpreted it. They switched these. So this used to be 10, now it's 12. This used to be 12, now it's 10. Okay, sorry, my bad, guys. So now you're actually going to get the upgraded version of Soft Boiled first, which is pretty cool. And then you're going to get the upgraded version of Helping Hand or Egg Bomb last. You know, level 12, a little bit hard to reach on support. You probably will be level 12 if you're doing okay on a support by the end of the game, but, you know, sometimes you're hovering around the 11 mark, almost to 12, not quite. But yeah, so just a little bit of a swapperoo there. You get Safeguard Plus first, Soft Boiled Plus first before these other two. I think it's pretty good because these moves are a little bit more impactful in terms of support anyway. So that's cool. You get your stronger support move a little bit earlier. So Duraludon, Dragon Pulse. Okay, so they don't have the exact numbers on this. But, oh wow. Estimated nerf is around 30% of the damage. So yeah, the patch notes mentioned that the damage has been decreased. And wow, 30% is pretty rough. Obviously, this is a hard move to test because, you know, there's multiple stacks and it scales off of different stuff. But yeah, if it is even around like 20%, that is pretty egregious, I would say, in terms of damage. I don't really see this being really viable anymore. Even like, I think Duraludon was in a pretty good spot, honestly. I'm not sure why they took such a big nerf to Dragon Pulse, but hey, maybe we'll start seeing people use what is it, Steel Beam I can't even remember the name. I've rarely ever used that skill, but you know, start using the long range snipe attack. It'd be pretty cool. But yeah, Dragon Pulse is looking really rough right now. Stealth Rock, visual adjustments, nothing big deal there. So moving on to A9, we got Blizzard hits more often but less hard. Okay, so there's more like ticks to Blizzard, which is actually really nice. Aurora Veil hits just as often as it always has, but no longer gives you a lot of HP. Okay. Yeah, they cut the healing from Aurora Veil in half. Makes sense. It was performing quite a bit. Yeah, oh wow, they pretty much just destroyed this healing. It's more than half, actually, because they removed the base healing. Rip. Movement speed buff reduced that you get from that as well. Okay. So yeah, the stun duration decreased here with increase for Blizzard. Interesting. So I don't know. We'll just have to test that one out. Like I said, go follow the Twitch link in the description if you want to see me play Ninetales. It's one of my top characters for sure. So we'll definitely be trying this out. Talonflame. Moving on to that, like we talked about yesterday, Brave Bird, a little bit rough. Radius decrease on AoE. Center to center range remains the same. Oh, okay, cool. So this is actually not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was like a distance decrease, but it's just the area in which you can hit Brave Bird. It's just a smaller area. And of course, they nerfed the damage a little bit. The base damage is decreased. The scaling's the same, which is really good. And this, honestly, it's like 3 per level, like 45 damage, right? At 15, doesn't really matter. So that's not a huge deal. We got Flame Sweep. This is the ultimate, or sorry, the Unite move. So, you know, moves into the 100-second category. As I predicted, it's not a huge nerf. They just bumped it up a little bit. So now Pikachu and Azumarill are going to have, you know, the fastest Unite move recharge. Talonflame's no longer in that group. But honestly, 11 seconds is not a huge change. 100-second cooldown for Unite move is still way above average of most of the roster of the game. So pretty cool stuff there. They did nerf the damage quite a decent amount. 20% off the scaling is rough. Let's see, 90 off the base as well. I mean, you know, that's what happens when you're performing strong. They nerf you. So I think this is fine. It's not a super bad nerf. I think Talonflame is still going to do what Talonflame does, which is one-shotting characters like Decidueye, Pikachu, stuff like that. So, yeah, should be good. Lucario, extreme speed nerfed by a little bit. Honestly, 20% scaling when you already have 225% scaling to begin with. Not a lot, right? It's I don't think this is gonna make any impact whatsoever. Lucario's still the best top laner in my opinion. Hoopa, let's see. Although that might change. I have a quick little side note. I actually think Garchomp is gonna be pretty good this patch, especially with Buddy Berry being removed. However, I guess more people would be running Focus Band, so it might not be as good as I am hoping. But we'll see. So yeah, Hoopa, obviously incredibly high performing. This song's a little intense, so let's switch that. Yeah, Hoopa, very strong performer in the current meta, obviously. Trick, wow, that's rough. 9-second cooldown now. Oof. And Trick plus healing decreased by 15%. Also painful. The stun duration for Shadow Ball decreased. Oof. Wow, they actually changed the cooldown of Phantom Force. Okay. So, I mean, Phantom Force is going to feel really good now, as well as the fact that the stun/slow that you get from it, from hitting mobs with it, is going to be increased. So, that's cool. I like that. It's pretty cool. I wish they had kept Trick not such a long cooldown. Like, all of this stuff is fine. The scaling is fine. It just feels kind of bad that the cooldown is bumped all the way up to 9 seconds. It's a bit rough, but, you know, like I said, similar to Talonflame, when you're performing as well as Hoopa is performing in games, like, obviously devs are going to be like, oh, shoot, that win rate's too high. Let's nerf the crap out of it. So that's what happened here. Zeraora, we got the discharge. Like we mentioned yesterday, the shield just getting increased. Like, this doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, Zeraora is still Zeraora. Although, like I said, this it applies to stuff like speedsters especially. I think now that Buddy Barrier is less prominent, you know, burst damage assassins, speedsters like Zeraora, Absol definitely do a lot better in that kind of ecosystem. So we'll definitely see those perform a lot better, I think. Aegislash, let's see. What do they say? Yeah, okay. Boosted attack, the ratio's up a little bit, 10%, not a huge amount, but this is the kicker right here. It's gone from 6% of the target's max HP to 7% of the target's max HP. Now, anytime you have max HP damage, this is honestly really, really strong. So this is really good. Tank Buster, just honestly awesome. I mean, you can store, what is it, 4 or 5 of these boosted attacks, right? I mean, 7% each time, pretty big deal, honestly, right? If you're doing, let's just say you're doing 6 boosted auto attacks, okay? You're getting basically an extra one since of this increase. Like, you're essentially doing 7 boosted auto attacks because of this buff. So that's pretty cool. Shield form, you got the healing ratio increased by quite a lot. Wow. Holy crap. This is honestly really good. 25% increase per level, up by 2. The base healing is up as well. Wow. Incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. And of course, this healing scales off of attack. So, you know, will we be seeing attack weight Aegislash? Probably. Weakness policy, stuff like that would probably look pretty good on this. Any kind of physical attack raising item. Sacred Sword got an increase to the stun duration. So let's see. Oh, interesting. It also got a damage buff slightly. So up by a little bit with both parts of Sacred Sword. So, wow. Really cool. Obviously, Sacred Sword has separated into, you know, the triangle when you land the triangle, and then dash when your character actually moves forward and dashes. So this is pretty nice scaling with all this stuff. Now, I think Aegislash is in a pretty good spot. We'll have to see how this works out, but I think a lot of people are big fans of Aegislash and were a bit disappointed when it didn't perform as a lot of people hoped. So really excited about that. And speaking of Pokemon not performing as they hoped when they came out, Trevenant is the big kicker of this patch. Like I said, honestly, I think this is going to be like one of the strongest Pokemon in this patch because it's crazy. So Branch Poke, you got the slow increase, you got a damage scaling even more, and now, holy crap, the healing is increased. You got 3 ticks of healing for 3% of Trevenant's maximum health. This person is never going to die and is also doing a crap ton of damage now. So you got Curse as well. Like I said, they said they were going to increase the damage scaling. This is already pretty insane because if you guys didn't know, Curse already had like a 500% scaling ratio to it with attack because, you know, like it says here, there's 12 ticks. Curse hits 12 different times, and each one for about 38% of your attack, and now it's 41%, and now the base damage is up as well. This means that Curse is going to be hitting a lot more, even more than it was before. So attack weight Trevenant is in session, everyone. So get your horses ready for that, because that's gonna be a doozy. And then you got a final hit from Curse, of course, as well. The scaling's increased. Poggers, huge. Self damage. Oh yeah, so now it no longer does 4% of your max HP in recoil, but now you only take 3% per second. So it's really good. Like, obviously, anytime you have to take damage yourself to use a move, it's kind of lame. So I'm glad they decreased this. I would like to see this maybe even decrease a little bit more, but honestly, we'll have to see how Trevenant's performing. Maybe this is just the right amount. Good to see them changing like little things like this though. Pain Split, healing increase, and Unite move cooldown substantially decreased by 20 seconds. This is a really good change. Like I said, now seeing that this is a 20-second Unite move cooldown, it confirms my suspicions that Trevenant is going to be like one of the best Pokemon this patch. Actually, I think it's going to be so strong, low key. But we'll see. Cramorant's Unite was buffed. It fell into the category just below the 134-second cooldown, so only dropping in cooldown by 11 seconds. The scaling's a lot better now, though. Obviously, special attack scaling is not really a huge deal because Cramorant doesn't have a lot of special attack anyway, but seeing that there's 80 base damage increase to the Aracudas that you shoot out of your mouth is really good. So glad to see that. Looks like they changed the per level scaling though, which is unfortunate. Hate to see it. Air Slash now fires 5 blades. Huh. Interesting. Very weird. Yeah, I mean, Cramorant feels pretty much the same. I tried it out a little bit earlier, but we'll definitely be trying that on stream a little bit later today. So I'm pretty excited about the Unite move changes. I wonder how hard it's going to hit, especially in, like I said, in an ecosystem where there are not as many buddy barriers, and, you know, people wearing Score Shield to give them extra HP. Stuff like this could be really good when you can ricochet a whole enemy team with Cramorant Unite. Greninja, of course, substantial buff to the cooldown of its Unite move. 30-second decrease in time for you can get your Unite move. The one game I played earlier was of Greninja, and it felt super, super good being able to get my Unite move back at not like a 3-minute time, you know? Like, it used to take so long to get it back. This 30 seconds actually makes a huge difference. I felt like I always had Unite move when the Dreadnoughts would come up, and that was something that Greninja specifically had a problem with before, that you just wouldn't have it up. So really, really happy about that. Also, Greninja got a sick skin. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Azumarill, just some bug fixes. Let's see. This is the last thing here. Bug fix. Looks like they did change Aqua Tail, though. So this is a note from the Unite DB team, so I'm just going to read this. These two changes together means Aqua Tail deals more damage when the target is below 150 defense and less when they're above. This is a rough estimate, and the exact amount will change depending on items. So Aqua Tail no longer ignores defense or shields, which is a pretty big bummer, in my opinion. But, oh well. So that basically what this means is, like, obviously, since they're increasing the scaling, you see this goes from 69, nice, to 82.8, from 138 to 165. This move is going to do more damage, but as soon as, you know, around 150 defense for like a Snorlax or like a more tanky Pokemon, they're actually going to be taking less damage with this move than they did the patch before, because it used to ignore defense, right? But this is pretty cool. So a little bit of buff to Aqua Tail. I think it's better, honestly, because, like, Azumarill really thrives on diving backlines and just being on the squishier targets. So 150 defense is not a huge deal. But yeah, it's a bit of a bummer that it doesn't ignore shields anymore. I thought that was a really cool mechanic. I honestly don't know why they, like, removed that. It doesn't really make sense to remove that. But, you know, the Unite devs are a unique team of people, and they have their own ideas for how stuff should be, and I don't know. I guess we just don't question that. So, biggest highlights of this patch, like I said, Trevenant going to definitely be meta for sure. Aegislash seems pretty strong. Hoopa, a little bit rough, but, I mean, it's Hoopa, right? The Unite move is so good. It's still strong. Lucario is still strong. Talonflame, probably not going to be played as much because Braver is going to be harder to hit. Fly is still okay, though. I played against it earlier. I was just able to easily beat Talonflames in that. I don't know. It doesn't feel strong. Talonflame's biggest thing that had it going for it was a very quick Unite move recharge, and the fact that it could just, like, one-shot people. And this makes Brave Bird harder to use because it's in a smaller circle. I think that's about it, though. I mean, I'm interested to see how the Blissey changes. I can't say for now whether or not these are going to be, like, super strong or super mediocre. But other than that, obviously, Body Barrier and Score Shield changes being the biggest thing out of this. Sorry for the long video, but hopefully you guys can just enjoy this as you're waking up or eating some food or whatever, and have me explain to you everything about the patch. So appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far into the video, let me know. I really appreciate you guys giving me a warm welcome yesterday, by the way. It was cool posting a video and just seeing a lot of familiar faces in the comments. So really appreciate that, you guys. Like I said, come check me out on Twitch later today. I'm going to be streaming some season 4, right? Season 4? I don't even freaking know. Season 4 gameplay, and it'll be a good time. We'll be testing out this different stuff. So I love you guys so much. Seriously, thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.